Good evening, guys. How's it going? Welcome to Krish at 9:30. Uh, we're actually thinking that soon it's going to be Krish at 9 because a lot of students have expressed their interest for it to sort of prepone to 9 p.m. But nonetheless, welcome to Krish at 9:30 at Cambridge Veritas. How's it going? If you guys are able to hear me, could you show me a big thumbs up or a bravo or a bingo in the live chat, please? Thank you. So today's session is going to be all about teachers. As you can see, today's lesson is all about how to teach speaking skills. So, to all those ESL teachers that are there with us, connected with us on Cambridge Veritas family, welcome once again. This is primarily meant for you. Today's live session is more like a webinar style uh, live stream wherein we're going to be learning certain components related to activities that you as a language trainer can include in your lesson planning, um, and basically all about how to teach speaking skills because a lot of teachers find teaching speaking skills quite difficult, and that's what we're going to be looking at in today's lesson. So shall we begin? Let's get going. I'm going to share my screen. If you're able to see it, please let me know. So, welcome once again. This is teaching speaking skills. If you are an ESL teacher, or if you're somebody who teaches English, or somebody who teaches literature or any other subject but wishes to sort of uh, start a career in teaching English, please do let us know with a teeny weeny introduction of yourself in the live chat. If you are an ESL student, that means you are a learner of English language. This lesson is not for you, but you can still tune primarily to understand how does it really work. But it is primarily meant for teachers. Okay. So to all the teachers, welcome once again. So let's first look at what the aims of the lesson today are. So first of all, today in this lesson, we're going to have some activities that are related to warm up. We're going to play one or two warm up activities, and then we'll understand something very interesting. It's called five activities or five speaking activities that you must use in your classroom to make that classroom a chatterbox. Primarily, the difficulty that English teachers face is not being able to, uh, their students are not able to use English in the classroom. Everybody's learning English, but they're not able to use English in the classroom. So, what are the kinds of activities that you should bring in to make the class into a chatterbox? And that's what we're going to be looking at today. Then, we're going to be looking at some concerns that students generally have when it comes to. We'll also ask you if you're a student watching, you can tell us what are the different kinds of problems you face when it comes to speaking English. And if you're a teacher, what are the different kinds of problems you face when it comes to training students speaking English? Yeah. So that's what today's lesson is all about. It's going to be a very, very fun session. If you're new to our channel, make sure there's a reflection activity as well in the end. If you're new to our channel, make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on. Why? Because every day at 9:30, soon 9 p.m., we come up with wonderful lessons for teachers as well as students, helping them learn communication skills, and also how to teach communication skills, as a matter of fact. All right, so let's get going. So I promised you the first activity that we have for the day is warm up. Hi, Priya, Shivanshi, Agarthan. Let's get started, guys. So, what's this activity? The first one that we're going to play. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. I repeat, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. To be precise, four questions. Look at the question. You have to share your experience with me teaching and training students with English in the live chat. That's all that you have to do. Okay. So, for example, the first one that I'd like to show you is the question is look at the questions below and think about how you would answer them from your experience. When you're ready, just feel free to comment your answer in the live chat. The first question is, what languages other than your own, for example, if you speak Hindi, so other than Hindi, what other languages can you speak? So, for example, hi Sheikh. For example, I can speak besides Hindi, I can speak apparently English. I can speak a little bit of Polish as well because I studied in Poland. Just a little bit broken Polish. What about you? What languages other than your own can you speak? Priya says that she can speak Hindi, Tamil, a little bit of Spanish as well. That's interesting. Thank you. What Shivanshi says Punjabi and English. Okay. Thank you. What about other people? Let us know. Bingo. My second question to you is, in your experience as a language learner, if you're a student or if you're a teacher, it doesn't matter. In your experience, you've been learning the language. How much did you speak during lessons? I'm talking about English. So, how much did you speak when you were learning English? How much did you speak during the lesson? And did you enjoy the lesson that was focusing only on speaking skills? What is your opinion? Agarthan says Tamil, English, and Hindi. Nagashri, besides my mother tongue, which is Kannada, I speak Hindi and English, okay? Sheikh says Telugu and Hindi, okay? So, second question. When you were learning English in a physical language classroom, how much did you speak during lessons? Was it 20% only, 50%, 100%? Or, and did you enjoy lessons that only focused on speaking? Priya says, in the beginning, very less. I was underconfident. Thank you, Priya. Thanks for mentioning that. In my personal experience, um, thankfully, the atmosphere that I was in, it was 100% English, even if it was broken English, so that didn't matter. Agarthan says, very little. Okay, thank you. Nagashri says only 20% in classroom. Okay, thank you, Nagashri. Agarthan says, okay, we did that. Priya says, afraid of others' judgment, around 50%. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for answering that, guys. Let's move to third question. In total, there are four questions. So the third question is, what skills and knowledge does someone need in order to be able to speak a language, not just English, but any language for that matter? For example, whatever your answer is, put it in the live chat. In my opinion, I think what you need is a supporting atmosphere, supporting environment. It's not a skill, I know, but I think it really helps. Hi, Divya. Okay, this is a nice one. Divya says LSRW. So, for those people who do not know what is LSRW, it is listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Thank you. So, for any language, these are the four skills, and these are very, very important. LSRW. Okay. Nagashri says learning environment is very important. Thank you. Priya says good listening skills are important, atmosphere and confidence at the same time. Agarthan agrees. Thank you, Agarthan. Yep. Supporting environment is very important as well. Yep. Thank you. All right. My last question to you is, please have a look, guys. What makes speaking a language other than your own difficult? What makes it difficult? Shivanshi says passion towards learning and practice. That was answer to the previous question. Okay. We're looking at question number 4 right now. What makes it difficult? Let me also think what makes it difficult. I think when the teacher is not able to explain the rules properly, personally for me, it makes it difficult. Yeah, grammatical structure. So I would say for me, in my opinion, it is explanation by teacher, complex explanation by teacher. That's my answer. Shivanshi says vocabulary. Uh, Agarthan says thinking in the language itself. Thank you, Agarthan. Priya says lack of exposure to second language and fear of judgment. Okay. Sheikh says vocabulary. Shivanshi, lack of confidence. Okay. Wonderful, guys. Super. Thank you for answering the 4 questions. Um, there's a very important quote, very interesting quote that I'd like to show you. Uh, please do have a look. There's a very interesting quote that I'd like to show you. This quote is by a linguist. His name, uh, 2 linguists. Uh, they are uh, they are uh, doctoral researchers in their fields of ELT, Burns and Seidelhofer. In 2020, they conducted a research. These researchers published a paper on how to train students with speaking skills. And from that research paper, I've quoted this sentence for you. If you want, you can read it yourself. You can pause the lesson right now, but I'm going to read it right now. Speaking is so much part of daily life that we take it for granted, especially in language classrooms. However, learning speaking skills, whether in a first or other language, what is first language? The language that you were raised on, Kannada, Tamil, English, Hindi, whatever it was, Telugu. It involves developing subtle and detailed knowledge about why, how, and when to communicate. Said by Burns and Seidelhofer, 2020. Do you guys agree with these 2 gentlemen or not? What is your opinion? When you learn English, is it important to develop detailed knowledge about why, how, and when to communicate? Hi, Rajdeep. Hi, Hasmat. Mega says lack of practice. Okay. I'm going to highlight this one for you. What do you guys feel about it? Do you guys agree with this quote uh, or disagree? Okay. Priya says agree. Agarthan agree. Shivanshi agree. Wonderful. Super. Thank you. Why am I showing you this quote? Because we're now going to play a game, and this game is related to speaking skills, basically speaking activities. Okay. So the couple of activities that are coming right now involve teaching speaking skills in a language classroom, particularly beneficial for teachers watching right now. So please do have a look. So there's something interesting in blue. Like writing, speaking is both an important skill in its own right and also a vehicle for practicing new language items as well. So, what do we have to do? Look at the 4 activities below, not 5 activities. I added one more activity. I generally keep on changing the lesson up until the last 5 minutes of the live stream if I find something interesting. So, instead of 4, I added 5 activities. And then I forget changing about things here and there. So, excuse me for that. So look at the 5 activities below. I'm below. I'm going to show you 5 activities. How many activities? 5 activities. For each, comment whether the emphasis is on speaking for communication or language practice. So once again, you have to decide, is this activity focusing on Communication skills, or is it focusing on rules, grammar, language practice? I repeat once again, I will show you the activity. Look at the activity. Is this activity focusing on speaking skills, communication, or is it focusing on grammar, language practice, etc., etc.? If you understand the game, show me a thumbs up. Priya says, usually when we think about speaking, we think about only various aspects of languages, grammar, vocabulary, but not communication as a whole. Very good point, Priya. Thank you, Agartha and Hasmat, Priya. All right, guys. So the first activity is, please have a look. So the first activity is the teacher shows pictures of famous places around the world. The learners, the students, respond with sentences like, I have been to Rome, or I have not been to Rome, etc., etc. So this kind of activity is focusing on communication or language practice, grammar. What do you think? Thank you, Hasmat. Focuses on language. Okay. Masroor, language. Priya, grammar. Wonderful, guys. You all have correct answer. It focuses on language practice. The focus is on using the correct structure. The focus is not on communication skills. The focus is on using the correct structure. Now let's look at activity number 2. The teacher asks the students, it's learners written, but I prefer calling it students about the places they would most like to visit and why. And then the learners respond, the learners reply. What about this number 2? Agarth and Shivanshi, thank you guys. Number 2 focuses on communication skills or particularly grammar. Thank you, Priya, Hasmat, Agarthan. Very good. Now, can you see the difference between the types of activities? I think speaking. Thank you, Masru. Basically, thank you, guys. Thank you. Wonderful. Speaking for communication. Thank you, Nagashri. Lovely. Super. Once again, I'm very proud to say that all of you are right. The focus is on speaking, communication skills. It has nothing to do with grammar. It is all about making students talk and use the language in the classroom. Wonderful. Great job. Activity number 3. The learners work in small groups to compare their ideal jobs. What do you think about this one? Could you type number 3 so that I'll be able to. Okay, thank you. Priya says communication again. Agarthan, communication. Masroor, communication. Lovely. You guys are right. Once again, Shivanshi speaking. Excellent. Yes, the focus is again on speaking, communication skills. The next one and the last one here is number 4. The learners work in small groups to compare their answers to a grammar exercise. Thank you, Hasmat. What about this one? Hasmat says language practice, Priya language practice. Okay, I'm going to display your answers, guys. Thank you. All right. Agarthan, language practice. Once again, very, very proud to say you guys are right. Wonderful. The purpose of playing this game is for you to be able to make the distinction between that there are 2 types of activities in the language classroom. Some activities focus only on rules, grammar, structure, accuracy. These activities are called language practice activities. We also call them ABA, accuracy based activities. When we play a lot of games and especially you're able to see what happens on the screen, we play all of those games. You're able to see what is going on the screen. I mean, there are fill in the blank spaces, there's matching exercises, etc. So, what are those kinds of activities? Those are ABA, accuracy based activities, which is, ladies and gentlemen, language practice. On the other hand, when I ask you to write a sentence, random sentence, random sentence, basically using whatever, the focus is on communication. Although, if you were in a live classroom, it would be speaking skills, but otherwise, the focus is on communication skills. So, can you see the distinction between the two? That's how it sort of matters. That's how it is different. All right. I hope you understand this. All right. Let us now move ahead. Now, bingo. Let me see answers. You say language practice. I felt so. When it comes to Priya says, when it comes to language, I think activities are more controlled, but for communication, it has more liberty. Yes, that's true. Excellent. Let's move ahead. So, in the beginning of the lesson, I promised you that this lesson today, this live session, especially for teachers, is all about what are the 5 different types of speaking activities that you should include to make students talk in your classroom. So, these are some of the activities that I'm going to show you, but we will do this with the help of a game. So, the next section of the live class today is about 5 speaking activities to use in the class. So, the game is the following activities focus on speaking for communication. That is, they only focus on communication, not as much on rules, but using English in real life. Which of these 5 activity types have you experienced as a learner? You have to answer that. And number 2, which ones did you enjoy the most and why? So, first, you will answer the first question: which type of activities have you experienced yourself? And number 2, which ones did you enjoy the most and why? Okay, so let's do a quick one. Let me see if I'm able to make like a live poll as well in the classroom or not. If you're able to do it, wonderful, because then we'll be able to see the answers. Yeah, we should be able to do it. Okay. Uh, so we will do this live poll right now, and you have to tell me which one is true for you. First of all, let me show you what these activities are. Okay. Number 1, discussion activity, wherein students discuss a specific topic by giving opinion. Number 2, role play activity, where students act out roles in a realistic situation like school meeting, restaurants, cafes, etc. Number 3, conversation. Students express views on a topical issue and ask each other questions. Activity 4, information gap activity. It does not mean fill in the blanks. It means each learner has different information written on their sheet of paper, and they must communicate to complete a task. They must communicate to the other student to complete their task. And the last activity is survey and presentation. Students create a survey, collect answers, and present findings. So, my question to you is, which of these 5 activity types, are you not able to see my screen? Oh, you're able to see. Perfect. Thank you very much. So the first question is, please have a look. Which of these 5 activity types have you experienced as a learner? So I'm going to start this poll in the live chat. Please select the right answer. Discussion, role play, conversation. So I'll just write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So select the right option. You can see the options on the screen anyway. So I will not write the. So which ones did you do? Discussion, okay. Oh my God. 33% say one. Okay, thank God. Discussion wins. Many people have done discussion, followed by number four and number five. And I understand by four and five, you mean mostly presentation. Hmm. Good, good, good. All right. Which ones did you enjoy the most? Now you have to answer that. I repeat, which one did you enjoy the most? Once again, I'm going to start this poll. Give me a moment. Is it one, two, three, four, and five? Select your answers for this one as well. Which one did you enjoy the most? Which activity? There's a poll in the live chat. Oh wow, many of you said survey and presentation. I know not many of us had information gap anyway, so I understand presentation. Many said role play, many said conversation also. Nobody said discussion activity. That's quite an interesting poll. Okay, so the winner is survey and presentation activities. And then on second, we have role play activities. And on third, we have conversations. Okay. Sure. Information gap is very simple, Priya. So imagine there are uh, there's one there's one A4 sheet. The teacher divides the sheet in half. Half of the information is with you, and half of the information is with me. We have to talk to each other. We are working in pair work, so we are partners. We have to talk with each other. I have to fill in the sheet that you have, and you have to fill in the sheet that I have. So basically, there's information gap on your sheet and information gap on my sheet. I have your information, you have my information. So we have to talk with each other. This is called information gap activity. It's a very famous activity, especially these days. It's quite common. Teachers use it a lot. Perfect. So the winner of the poll is once again, and it's surprising. The winner of the poll is presentation activities you enjoyed the most. Some people said role play activities as well, and nobody said discussion. Nobody enjoys discussion. That's quite interesting. That's quite surprising. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, that's quite interesting. So, one of the most important things that you can do when you design your lesson plans, this is for English teachers that are watching right now, is one of the most important things that you can do as an English trainer is listen carefully. Make a lesson. Every lesson should have at least one or two activities from the screen right now. So, take a screenshot of this and use this in your speaking lessons and all the lessons whenever you're teaching English. Make sure that you have activities that promote speaking skills. And this is one of the most important slides in today's lesson, wherein you understand that these are the kinds of activities that you can use in your classroom to promote speaking skills, because essentially what they have to do in real life is be able to use English confidently. Yeah, so that's very important. Hasmat says I played this info gap before. Thank you. Okay, Priya says no one knew what to speak in discussion. That's why discussions are hard. Thank you. Thank you for mentioning that. We always kept quiet during discussion or talk about some film stories, lack of general knowledge. Thank you. Thank you. So I think discussion should be such that promote using the language, and that's easy for the students as well. Okay. Thank you so much. Now, in the next part of the lesson, I'm going to show you some complaints by students. We also call this game Have a Look. When teachers use, when students are taking English courses, they have some complaints. Where have I taken these complaints from? Again, research papers. I've taken these complaints from. These are the most common complaints. So, complaint number one, I'm going to show you. You have to give advice in response to it in the live chat. If you're a student, you can still give advice, a piece of advice. If you're a teacher, definitely it is meant for you. So please do make sure that you do so. So here we go. This game is called Concerns of Learners. Let's move on. So look at the comments from learners on speaking lessons. Students are commenting what they feel about it. What advice would you like to give them or their teachers? The concern is we do some speaking in class, but it is dominated by a few students, and some of us don't say anything. It's very common, isn't it? So, what advice would you like to give these students? Don't you think it is so practical it happens that there are only one or two students speaking in the classroom and nobody else is participating? And the teachers are also very quite fine with it. So, and this student is expressing his concern or her concern. What is your advice? You can take a moment to type. Just looking at your comments. Okay, Hasmat says, um, teacher should make groups and divide the class with weak and sharp students so they can try to speak with the help of peers. Okay, Hasmat, thank you. Hamza, welcome to CV. Hamza says, if we include discussion activities in our lessons, doesn't it increase the students' effective filters, leaving them nervous to speak? That's a very important question. What do other people have to say about that? Uh, Priya says, teachers should nominate students instead of asking for volunteering. And to students, please be confident and say, even if the answer is wrong, good. Nagashri says, should reinforce the active participation. Agarthan says, they can start from no to unknown of any topic so that everyone enjoys. Eh, Can you hear me now? Can you let me know? I think this one's battery's gone down, so I'm just going to put it aside. Are you able to hear me now? Can you hear me now? I think it should be better now. All right, good, lovely. We're going to read Masroor's suggestion as well. Hamza, I think it is A as in effective, not E as in effective. Hamza has asked a very important question, guys. What do you feel? If we include discussion activities in our lessons, doesn't it increase the students' affective filters, leaving them nervous to speak? So, in simple English, to help you understand what is affective filter, it means emotional barriers or psychological barriers that students have. So, for example, somebody is just really shy. It's their maybe emotional or psychological barrier that's hindering them to speak. So, doesn't the discussion promote it? What do you feel about that? To answer this question, Hamza, the idea of discussion activities, especially when they are monitored and when they are encouraged, is to do away with affective filters, not promote them. So the idea is to sort of do away with it. That's my 2 cents there. But thank you for asking this question. Masrur says suggestions to teacher. Topics should be given beforehand so that the average student so that the average student can also prepare some points related to topics, and the time limit should also be allotted. That's a wonderful point. I really liked what you said. Let's see what I have written for you. So, the first thing that we should remember is, I think somebody said it, Priya said it, the teacher should nominate. What is the meaning of nominate? Nomination does not mean that the teacher has to say Priya, Masroor, Shivanshi. No, it's not teacher led nomination. Students should nominate each other. So Priya can nominate Masroor, Masroor can nominate Shivanshi, Shivanshi can nominate Divya, Divya can nominate, let's say, Agarthan. So more like that, So there's nomination that takes place. Then number two is they could use more pair work and group work activities. Some of you suggested that, which is wonderful. You could use more pair work and group work activities to ensure that more students have a chance to speak. It's a very, very important point. When you pair students better, it helps them learn. Yeah. So there's that. Thank you. Okay. This was teachers' concern. Now I'm going to show you students' concern. Are you ready? Sorry, this was students' concern. I'm now going to show you the teachers' concern. So the next game that we're going to play is called concerns of teachers. So I have one concern. So not I, all the teachers, sometimes they have one concern, and that concern is here. Please have a look. I know I should correct mistakes, but I sometimes have trouble hearing the students when they work in pairs. So I don't know what to correct. This is so practical. My God, it really happens. Hamza, Priya has said a wonderful point, and I really like Priya's point. She says, I think based on the topic of discussion, affective filters may increase or decrease. Yes, that's true. Very valid point. Well, what is your opinion related to this? I know I should correct mistakes, but I sometimes have trouble hearing the students when they work in pairs, so I don't know what to correct. What advice or suggestion do you have for this teacher? And it's a very practical problem. I have faced it personally a lot. Um, and I'm sure some of you as teachers may have faced it as well. Priya says, note down the mistake of learners and later correct. No, but her problem is that she's not, or his problem is the teacher, they're not able to listen to what the problems are because the students are quite loud. That's the problem. Hmm. This is a very valid point. Encourage peer correction. Okay. What about other people in the room? Guys, what do you feel? What suggestion do you have for the teacher? Agarthan says Teacher also join in the group after activity. They can correct without judgment. Okay. Thank you, Agarthan. Teacher can also join. Okay. If you're a student, feel free to deliver the advice, a piece of advice to the teacher. What do you feel about that? Hasmat says she should give her partners to correct the mistake. That's very good. Yeah, that's called peer correction. That's what Priya also mentioned. Lovely. Thank you, Hasmat. Shivanshi agrees with Agarthan. Okay. Priya says peer correction is better because that increases the engagement of everyone in the activity, I think. It is true. Hi, Lavanya. Lavanya says peer correction helps all the students concentrate and focus on the discussion effectively. Can I say something here? I've seen other teachers do this, and I personally have enjoyed this kind of format. So, if it is a group of three students, two students participate in the discussion, role play activity, information gap, whatever it is, and the third student is an observer, and that student monitors and corrects them. So, that is also an effective way to sort of deal with it. Let's see what I've written here. Please have a look. The teacher could use group work instead of pair work to encourage louder speaking, monitor more closely to ensure they can hear, and focus on language used during the reporting back phase. Yep, thank you. The next one is a very, very important concern. We're now going to move to concern number two. And this is a concern that online teachers have. I repeat, this is a concern that online teachers have. Um, Peer correction. Shivanshi asks a very nice question. Do peer correction work in large group? Does peer correction work in large groups, guys? What do you think? Shivanshi, in my opinion, the answer to this question could be uh, I think, yeah, I think why not? Uh, then you have a larger body of different kinds of feedback that there is. But the idea is that that there needs to be one observer whose only job is not to participate in the discussion, but to correct or not note down the corrections or mistakes or slips or errors that are made by other students. I think that helps. Masroor says peer correction is good, but it should be noted by the students and handed over to teacher. Later, the teacher should study, analyze, and help them correct. That's a valid point, Masroor. Very nice. Lavanya says during peer correction, students should be taught and advised to give feedback positively without offending the speaker. Absolutely wonderful point. Either we can do what Lavanya says, we can also do what Masroor says, or combine both of them. That also helps as well. Okay. Okay, let's move to the next concern that we have during speaking activities. And this is a concern of, hello, bello, it is a concern of an online English teacher. When I use breakout rooms, I worry. I can't be in every room, so I don't know what learners are doing. Valid reason. What do you think? Valid concern. What do you think? Nagashri says students should be open minded. Yeah, good. What do you feel about this one, though? What advice do you have for this teacher? Priya says breakout room is really a task. Yeah. It can be daunting. So, what advice do you have for the teachers? Lavanya says the teacher should visit every room frequently and monitor whether they are on the right track. Okay, thank you, Lavanya. That's a valid point. What about other people? There are many things that you can suggest the teacher in this situation. What do you think? What advice do you have? Priya says, the challenge is when you leave one room, immediately they might start doing something else. Okay. So you have to play like musical chair. Okay. Thank you. What about other people? Shivanshi, Hasmat, Agarthan, Hamza, Masroor. What do you guys feel? Nagashri. Breakout rooms, as in, for example, you have Zoom, Nagashri. So on Zoom, you can divide students in groups of 5 and they all go to their online breakout rooms to discuss. That's what breakout room means. Okay, so here we go. My advice to this teacher is number one, first of all, you need to trust. You need to initially start building trust with your students that they will work effectively without your constant monitoring. So that is an important point. Next, the teacher should use short activities, something that does not involve 15-20 minutes of task, something short which involves like a 5 minutes task. Also ensuring that your students understand the task. And one thing that Lavanya also mentioned is moving frequently, quickly between rooms, staying in one room for, let's say, like 10 seconds, 20 seconds, not talking to the students, only just there, being with them there, and then moving to the next group. And then making sure that if the learners do not understand something, they are comfortable enough so that they can come back and they say, sorry, I don't understand the game. Could you help me understand it once again? And the last bit is gather feedback from the students on breakout rooms effectiveness. Ask students, did you enjoy the activity? Do you think it is something that we can continue doing in the lessons later? Do you think it is effective? And some students are going to be very honest with the teacher and they will let him or her know that it really doesn't work or they don't enjoy. For example, not so long ago, I was teaching business at City University, one of the modules, uh, uh, and one student came in her late 40s, and she came and she said, Krish, we're working here, but nobody's participating, and I'm the only one talking, and I don't like it. So some students are going to be very honest and they're going to come and they're going to give feedback. Some may not. So you have to openly ask them, and most importantly, create that friendly atmosphere where they are uh, comfortable enough to approach you in the first place. Okay. Okay. Some people say, should volunteers can be a solution? I mean, sorry, is that a statement or a question, Masroor? Priya says there's an option to ask for help from the breakout room to the main room. Yes, there's that as well. Yeah. Lavanya says ICQs. For those people who do not know what are ICQs, it is information checking questions. Once again, for those people who do not know what is ICQ, it is information checking questions. So ICQ should be clear before assigning them into breakout rooms. ICQ instructions checking question. Okay. Lavanya mentioned it. Sorry, Lavanya, I made a fool of myself. Agarthan says, engage with learning objectives will make. Yep, that's true. Okay, it's a question. So Masroor says, should volunteers help? I mean, yeah, volunteering students, asking for volunteers, if they can be, let's say, group leaders uh, in the breakout rooms could be a solution. Yes, why not? Thank you so much. So in this lesson, we focused on a few important bits, and I'd like to draw your attention here. Please have a look. For those teachers who are teaching English right now or who want to teach English in the future, there are a couple of things that you should keep in mind. And those things are lesson planning. First of all, defining clear aims of the lesson. Then designing the lesson and 7 to 9 stages of the lesson, most importantly. Then how do you connect one lesson to the next lesson? So that is planning beyond a single lesson. And then how do you change your teaching style from online classroom versus face-to-face classroom? And then most importantly, choosing what are the different types of teaching resources that may work for you and your students for that particular batch, because not everything may work for all different kinds of students. Then, if you have limited resources, let's say you work at an academy and they have only provided for one book, and they only want the lessons to be taught from that one book, how do you exploit it as much as possible? Exploit means in positive connotation. How do you make extreme use of it, all different kinds of use of it using that one resource? And today we've got a dearth of resources with AI and so many books available online as well. Then, what are the different kinds of technology that you can use in your classroom? Let's say games like Kahoot, breakout rooms. How do you make use of all of that successfully? How do you use IWB in the classroom, which is interactive whiteboard? And then we have, what do you focus on? How do you focus on teaching listening skills, reading skills, speaking skills, which is what we looked at in today's lesson, writing skills, and most importantly, basic literacy. And then how do you combine all of these skills in a lesson? So all of these important bits are very, very important. Yeah. So for those of you who want to be teachers and are looking for where to start, then there's a very important recommendation for you. You need to start with this important course that you see on the screen, which is Cambridge Veritas TESOL certification program. Now, if you apply as a language trainer anywhere around India, they're going to ask for one certificate. It doesn't matter if you have a bachelor, BA honors in English, or a master's in English, or a PhD in English. They're going to ask you, do you have a TESOL certificate in English? Basically, teaching English to speakers of other languages. If you have it, well and good. If you don't have it, they're going to urge you to have it, because that's what employers want these days. The course gives you international credibility. You can teach English not just in India, but Europe, Canada, Middle East, China, other Asian countries such as Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, etc., etc. So all of these places, they all need teachers that have valid certificates, and this certificate helps you with it. It's a 4-week program. The best thing about this course is that you do not have to take a career break. Many teachers prefer CELTA as well, which is equally good. I have done both the certificates when I started teaching English, TESOL as well as CELTA. But the only problem is with CELTA, you have to take a career break. So with the TESOL program, depending on the provider as well, but with this certificate, you do not have to take a career break. You have to give 2 hours per day. With the methodology, you learn using task-based learning in a closed group, in a small group of 10 other trainee teachers that you work alongside. That's what really matters there. And most importantly, how you train is through micro teaching. You teach live in real time to be assessed on how you're teaching, and then constant improvement on it. You also get the opportunity to attend 4-week CPD webinars. What are CPD? Career and Professional Development webinars. And all of this takes place on My Veritas app, wherein you're able to make use of AI features as well. The next TESOL certificate on Cambridge Veritas is starting. The next batch is starting on 23rd of June. There are 2 other batches before it, 26th of May and I think it was first Monday of June, that have closed. The next applications are on for the next batch on 23rd of June, which takes place in the afternoon, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. So if you want to be a certified English language trainer, everybody's going to ask you for the credibility, and you're going to be credible. You're going to be considered a credible teacher. So for example, why am I stressing on it? The moment you walk into an interview, there's going to be somebody who'll ask you questions related to, tell me, what are the 9 stages of planning a lesson? Point number 2. Point number 2 on the screen. What are the 9 different stages of planning a lesson? So from warm up to error correction, if you're not able to talk about what those are, you may have a PhD in English. They're not gonna pay heed. They're gonna pay heed once you have this, and most importantly, you're able to talk about it through this certificate. In case you haven't subscribed to the platform yet, make sure that you do. Every day we come up with either teacher training sessions, or most importantly, language related sessions. It could be exam preparation, or for that matter, general English. So make sure to not miss any lessons that we start. From tomorrow onwards, we're going to be starting lessons at 9 p.m. So it's no more 9:30. It is 9 p.m. from a lot of feedback that was coming from students and requests that they're more comfortable with 9. So we're going to be starting with 9 p.m., not 9:30. Extra practice, if you want, the PDFs are going to be available on WhatsApp channel for today's lesson. So make sure that you join the WhatsApp channel. The link of it must be available in the description below of the video. The most important thing is you have to tell, what did you learn in today's lesson? Could you let us know in the live chat, what did you learn? Thank you. My God, I spoke a lot. What did you learn in the lesson today? Thank you. Priya says, I have a question. How has your teaching changed over the years? What's your biggest learning as a teacher from your 15 years of experience? That's a very good question, and thank you for asking this question, Priya. Allow me to tell you, uh, I have started. There are two major changes that have happened. Number one, I am very conscious of the fact that my lessons involve speaking as much as possible, because depending on the aim of the course as well. So, for example, if it is a business English course or a general English course, students need to use English practically in their daily life. So, there's a certain section of the lesson. Let's say 30% of the lesson that focuses on grammatical rules and la de la de la, but 50% of the lesson focuses on using those grammar rules. So 20% is warm up, 30% is grammar rules, 50% is focus on speaking skills. So that's how my teaching has changed over the years. And what's my biggest learning is? My biggest learning is the more the more encouraging an environment, the more comfortable your students will be with you. So, for example, complimenting your students, encouraging them time and time again, they all play a very, very important role. So you have to rise beyond your KPIs as a trainer, as a teacher, and really have that um, passion of changing people's life, and your students are able to connect with you. And that's what I think I've really stressed on over the years, and that's my biggest learning in my career. Thank you. Agarthan says, I learned how to focus on communication rather than language. Number two, breaking psychological barriers to grow up. Thank you, sir, with patience. You're teaching us inspirational consistency. You're welcome, Agarthan. Thank you so very much. What about other people? Still waiting for other people? No problem, Priya. What did you learn in this lesson today? All right. With that, thank you so very much for being a part of this lesson today with me. Tomorrow, we're going to be getting started with general English. We're meeting at 9 p.m. If you're connected with us via emails or WhatsApp, the Cambridge Veritas team, our wonderful counselors, will make sure that they'll make sure that they send a gentle notification to your WhatsApp or email, whatever you prefer, and that'll help. So make sure to attend daily at 9 p.m. And from tomorrow, we're starting with general English. Priya has a comment. Priya says, I learned various methods and activities that can be used to teach speaking. Superb. Wonderful. With that, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. It was a little bit different. It wasn't our usual lesson on the screen that takes place. Uh, Last week was all about IELTS. We covered so many different components related to IELTS, and I hope you enjoyed it. Tomorrow, we're getting back to general English, and I hope it'll help more students on our community, on our channel. Nagashri says, I learned about new techniques and strategies that can be used in classroom teaching. Super. Hasmat is asking for the WhatsApp channel. Is it not there yet? I think it must be there, Hasmat. If it's not, give me a moment. The link to join the WhatsApp channel is in the live chat. Live chat, guys. Thank you. I hope it helps. So for those of you who want to join the TESOL certificate, who want to be TESOL certified English language trainers, the link of it is available in the description as well. So you can let the counselors know. Teachers, especially live viewers, get a discount that must be mentioned in the link as well. I don't want to be unsure before I answer that. So just make sure that you check the link. That'll help. Okay. Thank you. Priya says last week was really good. Good. I'm happy for you. You're welcome, Shivanshi. Thank you. All right. Hasmat, I've sent the link in the live chat. I hope that helps. Masroor says, I learned about communication and language, how these two things are different and important. Also, different methods to improve English communication in class. Wonderful. Good to know. All right. With that, take care. Good night. I hope you enjoyed this IELTS week that we had Monday to Saturday last week. And today's lesson, very distinctive, primarily for ESL teachers. Make sure to share this lesson with your colleagues, ESL trainers, primarily focusing on how to focus on speaking skills. I'm sure that'll help. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. We're starting with general English classes once again. Good night. Ciao, ciao.